Hello everybody, this is a video on my top 5 beach multipliers, and the idea of this is so if you're looking to upgrade or you're starting out and you're looking for your first reel, it's just to give you a little bit of a taste of what there is on offer. I've kept it to 5 to not make it too sort of complicated or anything like that. So the first one we're going to have a look at is more of a sort of a budget sort of range, but good quality and lasts you for a lot of years. It's a particular reel I haven't actually owned, but I've spoken to a few anglers and a few friends who actually own it and swear by it and say what a good reel it is. So it's sort of pitched as an all-round sort of beach reel. You could probably use it for up tide and off the boat. You can use it off the rocks if you wanted to, but mainly it's aimed as a sort of a beach reel. It's got no level wind, it's got magnets, and it's got some nice sort of features to it. It's got nice sort of knobs, easy adjustment to the braking during the cast. It's smooth casting, effortless. It talks about 7 stainless steel ball bearings. And it's a Versa drag system with super smooth HD 100 drag washers, maximum drag of 9 kg, so that's loads if you've got a real sort of monster fish on there. With regards to line, I'm not sure what, here we've got state capacity. I've got 255 metres at 0.38 millimetres. Okay. And 170 metres at 0.46 millimetres if you want to cast with that much. Depends what sort of fish you're going for. If you're fishing off the beach in the UK, for me, £15 line is about right. Some people fish with 18, depends on where they are, but I've always got on best with 15. It casts quite well. If you want to cast a bit further, I would recommend £12. You could get away with £10. If you want to sort of cast a little bit further. The best lines to sort of use, I use the Dayward Tournament £15, the high visibility yellow one. I find that doesn't sort of knot up too much. You don't get that many bird's nests with it, and it's more easy to control. Plus you can see it at night as well. So anyway, this particular reel, so it's a 611 retrieve, so it's a recovery of 29 inches. So 29 inches is about just over 70 centimetres. And it's got a weight of 439 grams, so it is actually quite heavy. But then again, this is a beach rod, and they're generally are quite. It's 14-foot long rod, say on average. It's quite a heavy setup. It's designed for casting and putting in the rod rest, and that's pretty much it really. So yeah, I would recommend that as a sort of a not too expensive all-round reel. Right now you can get them, I mean they do retail at different times in the market nearly £200. Right now you can probably get them for 140. There's plenty of companies on the web who do it. Penn have got a good reputation, and like I say, it's not a reel I haven't had a cast with, but I can tell you now that would be reasonable money well spent if that's the way you wanted to go, if that's a particular reel you wanted. All right, Dayward Millionaire 7HT. This is an old school reel, which they're still doing. First appeared in the early 80s, 90s. It's not changed that much. It's nicely made. It's got a real nice balance to it. I do actually own this reel. I've actually just bought it recently. I used to have the Dayward Millionaire 7HT mag, but we'll go into that reel a little bit later on, but I've sort of downsized to this particular reel. It's used on the tournament scene, so it's capable of extremely long casts. It's not got any mags, but we'll go into it a little bit. So it's got a lightweight Dura aluminium spool, tried and tested centrifugal brakes. Like I say, first appeared in the 90s, and it's designed for use over clean ground to light rough sort of ground, they're saying. The retrieve on it is not that great. It's got a small little handle, but to hold it, it's a very nice little reel. Most importantly, it's if you're a caster, it's a good budget reel. I say budget; it's quite expensive. I mean, it's you know, you can pick them up for like 190 quid at the minute, something like 185. I think I paid for mine. So it's got a good reputation. It's been around a long time, and yeah, you could do a lot worse than get if you're not sure what to get. And you don't want to spend lots of money. I'm talking about 200 or 300 quid. I mean, sorry, 300 or 400 quid or something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a good way of still getting the quality and getting it. One disadvantage I would say with it is that the retrieve, the handle is very small, so you don't get so much a retrieve on it. You have to wind like crazy. But you know, if you're not going that often and you just go now and again, it's more than suitable. It really is. Use it for uptiding, use it for a bit of boat fishing, use it for whatever. But they're really beautifully made, really well thought out. And like I say, it's been around for years, very reliable, and it's a little gem. It really is. But there's the bigger brother is another good reel, a bit more expensive. I used to own that one. So the Abu 6500 C3 CT mag. This is a very good reel. I think in the UK it's had a few issues with competition because the market is now saturated with some other multipliers from some different brands. This particular reel, Daiwa and Abu were alongside each other for a lot of years, and this particular reel was pretty much one of the best. We've had a few over the years. They're very reliable, lovely magnetic brakes, and yeah, pretty light. You can use it for boat fishing, uptide, and all those sort of things. It's just generally a very reliable reel, capable of extreme distances, a bit like the 7HT. And lovely, well made. They're not cheap. You can get them in different parts of the world. I've seen one for about 160 quid, something like that. They're lovely little reels. They're high speed, and obviously you've got the mags as well. You've got the magnetic brakes. There's a high speed retrieve ratio, and yeah, they're just generally a fabulous reel. And you know, I haven't seen that many available in the UK at present, but you can get them online. You might even be able to pick up a very good second-hand one, so it doesn't cost you so much money. But for beach surf casting in the UK, they are absolutely gorgeous reels, and they won't bust the bank. Like I say, I had the pleasure to fish with them. I had one for a good 10 or 15 years when I first started out, and oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful reel. So yeah, if you can get hold of one, I definitely recommend it. Okay, this has to be one of my favourite reels I've ever owned. Gorgeous reel, nice and light. It's got one handle there, magnetic brakes, designed for distance casting, tournament casting, and yeah, it's got this thing called Magnifuge, adjustable reactive magnetic control. So it's like you set the magnets, but when you cast it, it's got an inbuilt sort of applies the magnets and sort of takes them off to adjust to the speeds throughout the cast, so to speak. So yeah, it's pretty good technology. It was around, I think, first 2009, something like that, when I brought mine. That was pretty much new on the block. One disadvantage I did have with it was, I don't know if they've rectified that or not, because the handle was a lot larger and it was designed for high-speed retrieve. Because I used to use mine for a lot of lure surf casting for salmon in New Zealand, so I got a hell of a lot of use. So whether that was because of that, I'm not sure, probably. But anyway, the spigot where the handle goes started to work a bit loose. The reel is still operational now, but it's still, do you know what I'm saying? It had an issue there. I don't know if they've rectified that or not, or it's just something which happens over extreme use. But that mine did have a hell of a lot of use, hours and hours of casting and retrieving. So that's probably why. So yeah, it's got a smooth and powerful star drag, retrieve 581, and if you're using 0.35mm line, you get a capacity of 300. So again, I generally used to use 12, £15 line on mine, and I caught some wonderful fish on it. I really did. I caught some nice big smoothhound off the beach in New Zealand. I caught a big kingfish on a sort of a tuna rod off the rocks. I put £40 braid on it, and yeah, the fish was taking line. I even had a full pelt on the star drag, and that was still taking line. But we slowed him down in the end. I had to go chasing after it. But yeah, trust me, that would be my go-to reel. If I'm honest, it's 320 quid. During peak times, it can be nearly 400 quid. You might be able to find it somewhere a bit cheaper at certain times of the year. But yeah, that's a definite. It's lovely to use. The magnets, you can set the dials on it. I used to cast it on about a 5 or a 6, something like that. And yeah, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful reel. Okay, this reel here is aimed at the budget end. Someone who's just starting out who wants a good quality reel will get the job done. This particular reel is aimed at mainly beach fishing, but you can use it rock, boat, uptide, anything really. It's been around for a lot of years. I've not personally owned one, but because they've been around for so long, I know that they're going to be very versatile, sort of good quality reel. And £90 is a reasonable price for something which is a very good quality average sort of reel. Yeah, I mean, you'll cast good distances with this, and you'll be, if you're starting out, you'd be absolutely delighted with its performance, I'm sure. So yeah, this is one I would recommend, and definitely if you're starting out and you're not sure what to get, or this is that and the other, it would last you for ages, and it's probably quite a sensible decision, really. I would say. So yeah, 4 ball bearings, centrifugal brakes, power handle, star drag, retriever 611, and a capacity of 270 metres at 0.40 millimetres. So they call it sort of regarded as a classic rough ground workhorse. So you probably find the retrievers relatively quick on it. Versus the 7HT, which... Okay guys, little drum roll. The top 5 multipliers are the Daiwa 7HT mag, Abu 6500 CT mag number 2, number 3 the Daiwa 7HT, number 4 the Pen 525 mag, and number 5 the Daiwa SL20SH. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video guys. Many more along the way, please subscribe. And yes, that Daiwa 7HT mag Millionaire is absolutely beautiful.